Welcome to Cross Yoga and this flow class. I'm excited about sharing it with you because we're going to focus on breathing today. Breathing with the body and breathing in the breath of life, releasing things that might be tired, energy, and that we want to surrender. You're welcome to take a seat, or if you want to lay down on the floor on your mat, please be welcome to do that as well. You might want to bring a block. It's nice sometimes to have it. Also, if you're used to doing stuff without a block, it can be fun to play with the block for a bit of a change. When you have found yourself a comfortable seat or resting posture, bring your hands to your ribs. So not on the belly as we sometimes do, but on the ribs. So elbows out and take those shoulders down. And then close your eyes. If you're a little bit stressed, you might just take a few breaths and don't worry too much about what I'm sharing right now. But if you're ready, try to feel the breath, the inhale in your ribs. The lungs are placed under those ribs, and they'll move apart a little bit as we inhale to create space for the air that we inhale. And they'll slowly come back as we exhale. In yoga, we often talk about belly breaths, which are important. We use that a lot. But breathing into the ribs or the chest can be helpful, especially when we're in postures where we have to engage the core and bring the navel somewhat in. Then the diaphragm doesn't have as much space to move. So really focusing on creating that space in your chest can be amazing. So we get enough air in. One more breath in the chest. And then you can bring your hands on your belly if you like, and do a couple of those belly breaths that we often do in yoga. So belly out as we inhale. And back in as we exhale. If some of this is somewhat new to you, you might want to stay with either the belly breath or the breath in the chest. But if you're up for it, try to get both of those breaths in. So both belly breath and chest. Try to breathe in through your nose if possible. Breathe out through your nose. And as you sit and breathe just a few more times, picture the inhale coming in, breath coming in through your nose, all the way down through your throat and down to your lungs. Down the lungs, this air coming out through all small channels and then somehow being transported into the blood so the blood can transport it out to the muscles. And there's this exchange of energy, so to say, where the oxygen, the leftover energy is brought back. And maybe picture an exhale where somehow this used air is transported into the lungs to be exhaled. If you want to get nerdy about the respiratory system, please do so. It's an amazing system. I'm so grateful for all the details in that. All right, if you're ready to move a little bit, you can do so, whatever feels good. If you're familiar with the story of Genesis, the creation story, you would know that God breathed air into the man, and this man became alive. So breath of God, life, breath of life is often sometimes the way we connect to in the Christian faith. Keep moving a little bit and just listen as I read this short passage from Job. It says here, Job 33:4, the Spirit of God has made me. The breath of the Almighty gives me life. The Spirit of God has made me. The breath of the Almighty gives me life. So let's breathe in this life as we move on the mat. Maybe the mat becomes like an oxygen chamber for you. Maybe. Get yourself out of whatever seated, laying down posture you were in. Find tabletop, and we'll do some cat-cows as we sigh out today. So take the spine up towards the sky, navel in, and go for the other one. And let's exhale as we go for the cat, spine towards the sky. Inhale as we do the cow. And then you might want to sigh out as you exhale and do your cat. Breathe in deeply, cow, and sigh out through your mouth, and release any worries, anxieties, thoughts that you want to let go of today. Sighing it out in a bodily prayer. All right, next time the spine is straight, you can shake your wrists, circle one each at the time, and then bring your hands further to the front. Tuck the toes under, downward facing dog, hip up and back, and move your leg one at a time. I'm going to guide you through a flow sequence, but we just warm up a little bit before that. A sequence, when we get into it, that I'll add on to. Move into a plank. Get your knees down in a little bit of a wide tabletop. Bring your right hand up towards the sky for a twist. Thread the needle. Fingernails down. You might want to hover. Bring it up and back. Lift the knees off in this plank variation now. Downward facing dog. And guess what? We can do that with our breath. So inhale, plank. Exhale, tabletop. Left hand, inhale, reach it up. Exhale, thread the needle. Inhale, bring the hand back. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the knees. Inhale, plank. I wiggle my feet back a little bit. And exhale, down dog. Let's do that one more time at each side. Inhale, plank. Exhale, knee down. Right hand up, inhale. Exhale, thread the needle. Inhale, plank, or the tabletop. Exhale, lift the knees off, hover the knees in this tabletop. Inhale, plank. Down dog, exhale. Welcome to use your Ujjayi breath. Inhale, plank. Navel in, exhale, knee down. Left hand, inhale. Reach, exhale, thread. Inhale, tabletop. Tuck the toes, exhale, hover the knees. Inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. Beautiful. Walk your feet to the top of the mat. Fold forward with your knees bent as much as you want to. Shake your wrist. And let's do our sequence, coming into it from mountain pose. So as we move, connecting movement with breath, think about rejuvenating and inhaling God's breath of life, right? The scripture that I just read, that God gives life, is actually from Job, and that's a book about suffering, really about suffering. But it still says God gives life. Whatever we're in the midst of, let's breathe in God's life. Circle your arms out to the side. I'll guide you through it without the breath, just to get everybody on board. Bend your arms, bring your hands behind your head, and then kind of pull the arms out like you're pulling curtain apart. From there, you keep standing. I'm just going to turn so you can see. Bring your left arm up overhead and go for a side bend to your right. Bring the hands back for a T or cross shape. Softening your knees, find your chair pose. Back with the hip, straight spine as you're leaning forward. And fold forward. Bringing the chest away from the thighs and lift the right leg up. You might want to circle the ankle a little bit, whatever you want to do here. Right leg up and back. And then lower the foot down, turn it around for that warrior two. So the back foot aligned with the short end of the mat. Right foot, right toes to right side. Bring the arms out. Take a look at your knee. Is it over the ankle? You want to go further. Maybe just stay put and be a little bit gentle the first time through. Big breath. And then windmill the arms around. Back heel off, step to the front. Fold forward. Navel in, soften your knees, rise up, high mountain, arms up towards the sky. Repeating this sequence, bend your elbows, hands behind your head, and pull the curtain. Soften your knees as you tilt your arms to your left side this time. Keep the hip over the knee and the feet into your T or cross shape. Soften your knees, bring the arms by your ears as you sit down into chair pose. Take a big breath here. And fold forward. Left leg up. And again, taking your time, being mindful that the right hip is not moving out to the side just because you lift your left foot. Lowering the foot down. And keep an eye on this alignment, front heel to back arch or back heel, it's called. Warrior two. Take one big belly breath in this case. And then circle the arms around, back heel off, step it to the front, fold forward. I'm gonna cue this part with a breath, adding on some other postures without necessarily following the pace of the breath. Inhale, rise up, high mountain. Exhale, bring the hands behind and arms out to the side. Prepare your side stretch. Left arm up overhead, inhale. Exhale, move to your right side. Inhale, T across. Exhale, chair pose. Go low. Inhale, in chair. Forward fold, exhale. Halfway lift right leg up, inhale. Exhale, lower down for that warrior two. Take it slow here. First the legs, inhale. And let the arms grow out on your exhale. Stay here. Reverse, inhale, reach the front arm, palm up, lean back. And then listen up, the front foot, we're gonna align that with the short end of the mat. So you might wanna lift the toes if you can and pivot the foot there and stay in your side ankle position with the arms here to the side. The arm that is reaching the back thigh, that's gonna go to the front leg for a twist. Backhand there to the front. So slowly move backhand to the front foot, so to say, in a variation of a twist. Coming back into your wide stand, reach the arms up overhead. See if you again can pivot the front foot and find your warrior two one more time. Finding length in your arms. Extend then the front leg, reach the arms up overhead, let the palms meet, elbows in by the ribs and bring your hands behind your head. Keep the shoulders, hips aligned with the short end of the mat. Let the arms reach up towards the sky, navel in, and now we're going to use that chest inhale because we're going to hug the navel in and lean over to a variation of triangle towards the front leg. So navel in, breathe into your chest. And lift up. Warrior two, just to get your hands down, back heel off, step to the front, repeating. Fold forward. High mountain, inhale, reach. Exhale, soften your hands behind your head, pull out. Bend to your left side, inhale, and move right arm overhead to left side. T-shape inhale. And then your chair pose, exhale. Breathe in here. Fold forward, exhale. Halfway lift, left leg up, inhale. Maybe aligned with the floor. Exhale, pivot, warrior two. Rise up, inhale. And get the distance that you want to go for today. Exhale. Reverse, palm face up. Lean back and take a hold of the back leg there. It's nice to have that grounded to help us where we're moving, right? So navel in, and if you feel any discomfort, please just go out from this. But if you can, lift the toes, pivot the front foot, and keep leaning over towards the back leg, so to say. Backhand to the front foot, navel in, reach up, twisting. And what you do with the top arm, it's not really so important. I want you to focus on the spine twisting in a forward fold or more aligned with the floor. Lift up, standing wide-legged, bring the arm up overhead. Keep the pelvic floor nice and tucked in, palms together. Bend the elbows, bring them behind your head. Notice if the shoulders are elevated, bring them down. Extend the arm up overhead, and then we're pivoting that front foot one more time, maybe on the heel, finding your warrior two. Extend the front leg. Navel in, breath in your chest, lean forward to some degree. Breathe in. Warrior two. Release. Back heel off, step to the front. Adding the last few things including a bit for the core and the shoulders. So breathe in, inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands behind your head, push out. And left arm up, inhale, reach. Move to your right side, exhale. Cross shape, inhale. Exhale, chair. Sit low, we're getting nice and warm now. Breathe in. Fold forward, exhale. Halfway lift right leg up. Lower down for warrior two. But take it slow. Inhale, rise up. Bend the front knee over, angle arms out, exhale. Reverse, inhale. And exhale. Keep this shape in the chest. Inhale, pivot the front foot. Exhale, stay in this shape with the top arm wide-legged. Inhale, prepare the twist back arm to front leg. And as you get somewhere in that direction, exhale. Inhale, rise up, navel in, bring the arms together, palms together up overhead. And if you prepare on your exhale, you can bend your elbows behind your head. Elbows by the temples or a little bit above. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. And maybe it fits with an exhale. Turn the front foot. Maybe you want to bend the front leg as well. Inhale, prepare the triangle. Extend the front leg again. Exhale, lean over the front leg to some degree. Stay here for one more breath. The navel in. Breathe at your chest. Soften everything. Find your plank. So hands down on the floor, back heel off. Front leg, left leg is going to be pushed up and back for the three-legged dog. Hips is closed. You can point the toes if you like. I'm going to do this just one time. So left knee in plank to your right elbow. Stay there for one breath. Bring it up and back. And then left knee bent to left elbow outside on your ribs. Go as high towards the armpit as you possibly can. Bring it back. And then the right foot one more time to the front where maybe your right or your left hand is. Half moon. And this is where you might want to bring your block. Bring it in front of the left foot and see if you can kind of make your way up. Pivot or turn the right foot so it's have that warrior two direction, but elevate it. Gaze on the floor when you have seen what you need to see. If you want to go for the full half moon, you can lift the right hand up. If you feel playful, maybe you want to go for that binding where you take a hold of your toes. So keeping the hip stacked. Taking one more breath. Release, bring both hands down. See if you can get the feet to meet each other here at the top end of your mat. Meet feet and toes and whatever can reach. Bring the block in your hands, second height, so that you put it in there between the hands as prayer pose. Bring the block overhead, push in on the block. Stay down in your chair, and if possible, bring the hands behind your head without moving your spine. Extend the arms again. So a few times, bend and extend to get a little bit of tricep involvement here. Last time. Breathe. And fall forward. You can release the block and maybe get some more distance in between your feet. And let's pause, shake things out. The respiratory system actually reminds me about faith and God, in the sense that we can somehow influence the breath. I mean, I can hold my breath, I can prolong my breath, I can breathe in a certain way. Come into mountain pose. But in another sense, I cannot control my breath at all. I cannot decide if I want to stop breathing and then stop breathing. Right? And so it is with God. I can pray, I can have influence. I believe that in my life. And God, I can pray. But in the long run, God is in control. As He is of my breath. He is the one that gives me breath. And one day will take it away again. Both frightening, but also to some degree comforting. Let's do the last one. Inhale, arms up overhead. Hands behind your head, exhale. Shoot the arms out. Get those trapezius muscle going. Lean to your left side, arm up, right arm up. Exhale as you move there. Inhale, T-pose. And I've got a little more distance in between my feet, so if you want to go with that in chair pose, do that. Exhale. Inhale here. Exhale, full forward. Inhale, half lift left leg up. Exhale, lower down and pivot. Warrior 2, inhale. And exhale. Reverse, inhale. Keep everything in one line as you lean back, exhale. Back hand to your front leg when we have extended the front leg and kind of turn on that toe for a wide-legged position. So inhale, reach the back hand off and let it move towards your left side. Exhale with the front side. Rise up again, use the core, use your glutes and the hamstrings. Reach the arms up, palms together. Exhale, bend your elbows. Extend. Pivot the front foot and find your warrior 2 legs, but keep the arms on top of your head. To get that proper alignment, shoulder, hip aligned with the long end of the mat. Then extend the front leg, inhale. Navel in, lean forward, exhale. Breathe into your chest. And exhale. Rise up again, bend the front leg. Hands down, back heel off, 3-legged dog, right leg up and back. Take one breath. You can let toes point down or extend the foot. Either how, we're going to move into plank. So right knee to left elbow. Lift it up. Take one breath. Bring it up and back. And let's do it. Right knee, right armpit, maybe, or elbow, or wrist. Bring it up and back. And then to the front of the mat with your right foot. Half moon. So again, maybe using a block, whatever you want to do. Left leg up, hips stacked. And if you happen to be able to balance, you can bring your hand on your hip to see if you can stack it. And maybe left hand up, breathe. If you want to do that binding where you hold on to your foot, don't overdo it if you have any issues. One more breath. And let go. Hand down. Soften everything. Get your feet together again, or thighs or knees or whatever can get together. Chair pose, bring the block. This time, you're gonna stay on your mat. You're just gonna push in on the block like this, without the shoulders moving forward. So bring the shoulders back and push on the block and release without dropping it. Push in. Feel the whole shoulder girdle, front and back. Engage and release. Push in 2 more times. Push. Release. And push. Release. And then you can stand up. Get some distance in between your feet here at the top of the mat. Hold on to your block. Catch your breath. Isn't it amazing that when we really work out, our muscles need that extra energy, that extra breath, and the body, heartbeat, respiratory system just works sort of to support that. So if you're out of breath from doing this, maybe praise God. How amazing that is that you can become out of breath. And maybe by now, also you have settled a little bit down. A few stretches. Full forward, right leg to the back of the mat, and I'll fold my mat for the sake of my right knee. We're going to do a lizard pose. And sometimes it's again nice to bring the block. I'm going to use it on the second height. Align it with the front foot. Move my hip forward and down. So get the right distance in between the front heel and the back knee. Hands on the inside of the front leg. So stand and move forward. There's something else going on if you just come down on your elbow, I think. So sometimes it's nice to have a variation. Want to connect with the belly breath now. And then you can release. Whatever posture you feel like you want to move into now. Other side. So your right foot to the front, block there with you. Maybe fold the mat or blanket or whatever you want to do. And then don't force yourself into this stretch. Let the body kind of find its way. Breathe. And most likely you know that the deep breath is connected through a lot of things, but also the vagus nerve, a big nerve, long nerve in our body, to impact the parasympathetic nervous system, the calming nervous system. So deep breaths calms us. And of course, that's one of the reasons why we want to breathe deeply when we do yoga. All right, bring yourself out of this shape. You can bring the block to the side. Plow pose. It's not often I do it. If you know it, don't look at the screen, just find your posture. If you're like, nah, let me just have a look. Or if you have neck issues, you do your plow like this. So you don't get any weight on your neck at all, but just lean forward. So this shape is basically what when you're gonna do, I'm just on my back. So take a look, don't move your neck when you're doing it. That's why I want you to take a look before. Maybe you want to tuck your shirt in because it will most likely drop onto your head if you're not cautious. So, plow pose. You bring your hip up here. You can keep your knees bent or extend the legs. Now, the traditional plow pose would be to get the feet down on the floor. Some days it works for me, some days not. So, here, supporting or down with your hands. Now you have seen it. This is where I want you to be still in your neck. Don't move or look to the side. So close your eyes. Take this shape or stay seated if you want. Again, eyes closed. Don't look at the screen. Try to relax your neck. If it's uncomfortable, get out of it. Deep stretch for the back of the leg and a forward fold. Again, don't look at the screen, just listen. Bring your hands to your hip if they're not already there. Bend your knees. And then slowly, like vertebrae by vertebrae, coming back down on your mat. Bend your knees, feet on the floor. And now you can take a look, if you feel like it, at the screen. And then you might want to use your legs going for each side here. Just one more stretch before I finish the class. And again, you can take a look, because I'm going to do a spinal twist, but with a little bit of a thigh stretch as well, so you might not know it. But you can bend your knees and come onto, for example, your right side, knees on top of each other. And this is the traditional spinal twist, so you can definitely just stay here and don't do anything else. But you want that thigh quadricep stretch. You will extend the bottom leg out, so it becomes aligned with the spine. From there, bend the knee, and this free hand that normally is out on the side will catch a hold of the toes and bring the heel towards the buttocks where it belongs, on the floor. I have one hand supporting the knee there, so I'm not leaning back, and the other one pulling my heel towards the buttocks. Nose pointing up, back head on the mat, and then I'm trying to soften. Feel the belly move in and out as you breathe here. Last breath. And then please release. Move back on your spine. Take a breath there for the body to adjust to normal spine position. And then, of course, the other side. And if you can't take a hold of the bottom leg, don't worry. You can use a strap or you can just do the traditional spinal twist. But same thing as before. Hold on to the top leg with one arm. Back leg is bent. The thigh is aligned with the long end of the mat and your spine. Pull the heel towards the buttock. Not that it has to reach, but the direction is there. Relax your upper hip. really like this belly breath and how it connects with the parasympathetic nervous system and what calms us down. And also to think that if breath is breath of God given to us through grace, then the deeper I breathe, the more air, the more life-giving God's breath I inhale, the more calm I'll get. How beautiful is that? The more I inhale of God and maybe exhale of my old tired self, the calmer I'll be. The better solutions I'll find for any issues or problems I might have. The less I'll worry, the more I might become what God has intended me to be in this life. You can release and bring yourself back to rest on the mat. If you feel like hugging in your knees before you find that rest, you can do so. Now we have the block, and we can do a chest opener, which means that you can bring the block in between your shoulder blades. If you're used to this, again, go ahead. I don't want you to put it up on your neck, right? In between your shoulder blades like that. But you're going to put it down on the floor somewhere on the mat. And then the whole issue is finding the right position. So I come down and I'm like, wiggling and like making myself find that right posture. If it's too hard with the block, a blanket on top of it or just a blanket is just as good for some of us. Now, I don't actually love this because my neck is not fond of having that back bend. So I'm going to come out of it. But you can stay for however long you want. Or if you feel like, nah, not working for me, just move the block or maybe use it as a pillow. Feet out a little bit for that opening of the hip. Hands on the floor. Eyes closed with a softness. And then open your mouth a little bit to get the jaw relaxed. And then breathe in God's life-giving breath. Breathe in beauty. Breathe in hope. And breathe in trust in God. Reminding yourself that trust in God is not the same as trusting that something bad will never happen, but trusting that God will be there right through it with you. And someday, bring you home to eternal beauty and harmony with Him. As I slowly wrap up this class, remind yourself to breathe throughout your day. And when you do so, think about God's life-giving breath into your lungs and out in your body. If you're on the block, resting on the block with your spine, you can move your fingers, and we all can do that, and toes and stuff. But if you're on your block, you might want to move onto your side. Bring the block away from you. Come back, resting. And then hug your knees in together with the rest of us. And from there, you can choose to take a seat if you're ready for it. Let's finish this class up with one more big breath. Bring your arms out to the side. Inhale, hands out to the side, up overhead, palms together. Exhale, hands in prayer pose. From my heart to yours, thank you for breathing with me throughout this class. May God bless you and keep you. Thank you.